Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It's football time in Fulton. As is finally, Jim, football season. It seems like it takes forever to get here, and then it's gone before you know it.
Adam, really looking forward to it. Finally, September 1st is still hot, as you well know, but we're looking forward to the season and a big game tonight.
Expecting a sellout crowd here tonight in Fulton. We have our big tailgate before the game, but we also got the number 4 Bulldogs of Gulf Coast coming into town, a team we're very familiar with.
No doubt about it. We played them the last 2 games last year, so we know what they're about. We're looking forward to the season kicking off tonight.
We'll come back with more of the Davis Ford pregame show right after this.
Chopper sister.
Looking at a Ram 2500? Try looking at it next to a Ford Super Duty diesel. The 6.7-liter Power-Stroke V8 in Super Duty has best-in-class diesel horsepower and 860 pound-foot of standard torque. Ram 2500 doesn't. With F250 Super Duty, you also get best-in-class diesel fuel economy. Ram 2500 burns more fuel, and Super Duty also gives you more payload. Ram 2500 doesn't have that kind of payoff. Now you can see why, from sunup to sundown, on job sites everywhere, Ford Super Duty owns work.
And welcome back to the Davis Ford pregame show. I'm Adam Gore, joined by Jim Ekram, the foundation director. Jim, we talked about it in the brief opening, if you will. Always an exciting time of the year when football season finally rolls back around.
No doubt about it, Adam. Everybody's excited tonight. Of course, we've got the tailgate, starting at 5 o'clock tonight. We want people to attend that. Start of the year, a lot of enthusiasm. We have 55 players, of course. We got 22 sophomores that played a lot of football coming back this year. We've got 33 freshmen. Sean Cannon in his 3rd year, been with the program for 7 years. So there's stability and a lot of excitement about tonight.
Absolutely. We'll talk with Coach Sean Cannon later on in the Davis Ford pregame show. Jim, it's a very unique situation coming into the first game of the year. You don't know a whole lot about your opponent, but kind of in our case, we do, because very unique situation last year. We played them to close the regular season at Gulf Coast, turned around and went right back to Gulf Coast for the opening round of the playoffs. Unfortunately for the Indians, didn't quite get the results we were looking for either one of those games.
No, we didn't, but we made the playoffs, finished up 6-4 for the year. The difference this year is we're at home.
Yeah.
And with our home crowd, we know our students will be there. We know our fans from the area will be there, and I think it's going to add a lot to the game, and we got a good chance maybe to upset them tonight.
Absolutely. It's the Sodexo opening kickoff. The countdown to that continues here on the Davis Ford pregame show. Let's put the coaching shoes on you real quick. No pressure. What do you do to get your guys? Because you talked about a lot of freshmen on this team, so there's going to be a lot of people amped up for this football game. You got to kind of control those emotions early.
You got to, and our coaches will do a good job. Adam, we cannot turn the ball over early. We got to stay in the game, stay with our game plan. The key in opening games is kicking game and turnovers. If the team loses turnovers, they're usually going to lose the ball game. So tonight is very important. Play steady, don't turn the ball over. Get to the second half, and we got a chance.
Absolutely. And another thing that's going to be a big factor tonight, as you said, is going to be that home crowd. We've got the tailgate. We've got the mini cheer at halftime. This is going to be a big deciding factor for the Indians because nobody shows up and shows out better than the ICC family.
No doubt about it. The ICC family will be there. We'll be doing the chop. A lot of enthusiasm, good weather, hopefully, for the entire game. We know it's hot. But that's the way football should be in the South, September 1st. So we know our fans will be there. We know the team is ready. We just got to all come together and play hard.
Absolutely. Talking about how hot it is. That's the reason why we've got our Cokes here in front of us. ICC Athletics presented by Coca-Cola, the Northeast Mississippi Coca-Cola bottlers. Buddy Long and Company. Buddy is a great friend of the college, not only athletics, but the entire college as a whole.
No doubt about it. Buddy Long's been a great friend of the college for the foundations, for sports. He does everything for the college, and he always says yes when we call him. And he's just been an ambassador, really, for ICC.
Absolutely. You've been looking at some of the highlights from last season of this ICC and Gulf Coast game. Jim, what are some of your thoughts or some of your keys to victory tonight being presented by Joey Cox, your Itawamba County Farm Bureau agent?
And we appreciate what Joey Cox is doing. Adam, we're going to have to run the ball. Octavius Matthews, of course, the Auburn commitment is at tailback. But we just can't run it. We got to mix it up. We got to do passing. We got to run the ball. We got to catch them by surprise because they're very good. They're very, very physical and very big up front.
Absolutely. And the tail of the tape early has sort of been ICC's right now better off offensively with more people returning. Gulf Coast sophomores more returning on defense, vice versa for the Indians. So we're going to find out a lot more about this team as the night progresses.
Well, you mentioned, Adam, you can mention it again, how many of our tacklers, our leading defensive players, we lost this past year?
15.
15. It's a young bunch. They're very athletic. They'll play hard, but we don't know yet. We think our offense will be good. They've been there since last year, but our defense is untested. They're a young group. They're very athletic. We think they're ready, but we'll see in a big ball game tonight.
Absolutely. When we come back, we're going to talk with head coach Sean Cannon as we step inside Coach's Corner, brought to you by Little Caesars here on the Davis Ford Pregame Show.
Across our state, in places far and wide, we speak a common language that unites, inspires, and defines us all with only 3 letters. ICC.
I am ICC.
I am ICC.
I am ICC. I am ICC. I am ICC.
Itawamba Community College, transforming lives, transforming Mississippi.
Hey, brother, there's an endless road to rediscover. Hey, brother, know the water's sweet, but blood is thicker. Oh, if the sky comes falling down for you, there's nothing in this world I wouldn't do. What if I'm far from home? Oh, brother, I will hear you call. If the sky comes falling down for you, there's nothing in this world I wouldn't do.
Little Caesars, home of the $5 Hot and Ready Classic, is driving your taste buds crazy with our new loaded Crazy Bread Bites for just $4. We start with our world-famous Crazy Bread, cut into delicious bite-sized pieces. Then we amp up the flavor with creamy cheddar cheese sauce, mozzarella and Munster cheese, and tasty applewood bacon, all baked to perfection. Need more kick? We've added a side of jalapenos. Try our loaded Crazy Bread Bites for just $4, only at Little Caesars.
Pizza.
And welcome back to the Davis Ford Pregame Show. Adam Gore, Jim Ingram here on hand. Earlier today, video operations coordinator Raphael Henry had a chance to catch up with ICC head football coach Sean Cannon about tonight's matchup.
All right, Coach. First game of the year, home game, opening game of the season.
Yeah, I told the kids, I said, yesterday we were talking on the practice field before we wrapped up how, it was 365 days after our last game, and now it's here again. We've got 1 day left, and so they're excited to go. And been a long off season, long camp, but I think they're ready to go out, and I know especially hit somebody else besides herself.
Like you said, a familiar opponent, Gulf Coast. What you know about those guys?
Yeah, playing them twice last year, last two times of the year. then having them again game one, and you're going to expect a really good football team coming in. They got a lot of good preseason guys that are ranked, and got a lot of offers. So they're going to bring a good football team in here, and we've got to be ready to go tonight for sure.
What can we expect out of the Indians tonight? Just from the offense and defensive and special teams?
The biggest thing I've told them, especially first game of the year, it's going to be the team that makes the fewest mistakes. So we hope to, force them into making mistakes, because we're all going to have, first game jitters and, all those things. But hopefully we'll go out and play hard, and be able to attack them on both sides of the ball and play well in the kicking game, And I told our kids, I said, you look at any football from the NFL all the way down, usually the first week always is special teams and mistakes, and whoever makes the least mistakes and then has no breakdowns in the kicking game, So I think that's the biggest thing we got to go into tonight, looking at is making sure our mistakes are not as many as they make, hopefully.
And Mr. Jim, there you heard the keys to victory from Coach Sean Cannon, kind of what you talked about, no mistakes, and execution being the key in winning tonight's ball game.
No doubt about it. And we always talk about turnovers. That's very important. Turnovers is big in the game, especially early game against a very physical team like Gulf Coast, who we know is a very good team, and they beat us the last 2 times we played them. We got to start out well at them, and we can't turn the ball over. Let's get into the second half very close and see if we can pull away with our home crowd.
Absolutely, and we stepped inside Coach's Corner, being brought to you by Little Caesars here in Fulton. Remind you can get a single topping large pizza for $5 here in Fulton. That's great whenever you're either coming into a game or leaving the game, or got a late night with studying for tests like I do.
How about during the game? They can bring it up there and we can eat it during the game.
Absolutely. So, Jason, if you're watching there, hook us up. So we're going to come back with more of the Davis Ford pregame show and be back right after this.
Little Caesars, home of the $5 Hot and Ready Classic, is driving your taste buds crazy with our new loaded Crazy Bread Bites for just $4. We start with our world-famous Crazy Bread, cut into delicious bite-sized pieces. Then we amp up the flavor with creamy cheddar cheese sauce, mozzarella and Munster cheese, and tasty applewood bacon, all baked to perfection. Need more kick? We've added a side of jalapenos. Try our loaded Crazy Bread Bites for just $4, only at Little Caesars.
Pizza. Hi, I'm Adam. And all my life I've been considered a pretty lucky guy.
On the house.
Ah, thanks. For starters, I get upgrades everywhere I go. And I just win things like all the time.
And the winner is this guy.
But you're not this lucky. No one is. So talk to a Farm Bureau agent today, because when it comes to your coverage, luck should have nothing to do with it.
Thanks for this Oreo caramel shake, Kara.
Caramel for Kara. That makes sense.
And Janine for peanut butter.
I don't get it. Why?
Because she reminds me of my ex-girlfriend Janine, who was nuts.
23 real ice cream shakes, all half price after 8 p.m. This is how you Sonic.
And welcome back to the Davis Ford pregame show. We're talking about football, but now we're going to talk about the international brand of football. That's soccer. ICC had a big sweep of Colin earlier this week. Lee Adams will tell us more about the sweep of Colin for the Lady Indians and the Indians Tuesday here in Fulton.
After picking up a tie and dropping a game in the opening weekend, the Edwin Community College women's soccer program picked up their first win of the season in a big 4-1 victory over Colin Community College Tuesday. The Lady Indians attacked the net early and often and drew first blood with a goal in the 12th minute by freshman midfielder Morgan Dennis of Saltillo. Later, they extended their lead on a goal by Ferris Bradley in the 24th minute. ICC had several scoring chances in the final 10 minutes of the first half, but it was the visiting Lady Wolves who found the back of the net before the horn, as Montero Keys scored in the 44th minute to trail 2-1 at halftime. In the 70th minute, Emily Buster of Prattville, Alabama scored on a penalty kick to extend the Lady Indians' lead to 3-1. And even with the comfortable lead, the Lady Indians kept up the intensity and picked up an insurance goal off the foot of Mallory Scott of Saltillo with 3:21 left in the match. The 4-1 home opening victory improves the Lady Indians' record to 1-1-1 in this young season. In the men's game, sophomore striker Michael Kaiser of Olive Branch had a big day as he picked up a hat trick to lead the Indians to a 6-1 victory over the Wolves. The Indians started off sluggish but found their stride as the game progressed to a 1-0 lead in the 12th minute off of Kaiser's header. That lead, however, would be short-lived as the Wolves netted the equalizer on a header of their own 6 minutes later. At halftime, the teams were still knotted at 1 apiece, but the Indians picked up the intensity in the second half and regained the lead off the head of Kaiser again at the 49th minute. Kaiser went on to complete his hat trick midway through the final half and sparked 3 goals in a 4-minute run for the Indians. After Kaiser's final goal of the day, Boston Hampton of Tupelo found the back of the net less than 2 minutes later, and Chase Huddleston of Tupelo beat the keeper to give the Indians a 5-1 lead. Josh Bartlett of Chelsea, Alabama, added some late excitement as he scored the final goal of the match as time expired to give the Indians a 6-1 victory. Both the Indians and Lady Indians will open MACJC North Division play on the road Friday against East Central Community College at 2 and 4 p.m.
And Mr. Jim, 2 big wins for the Indians. Always a great way for you to win your first home events of the season. Lady Indians, as you heard, winning their match against Colan 4-1. Indians winning 6-1. Hey, got some good mojo heading into Thursday night.
No doubt about it. We got 2 great coaches coaching soccer, and when you win your early games, it gets the crowd to come back out, get some enthusiasm. So it was key for the Indians to find a way to win those first 2 matches.
Absolutely. Big matchup Friday for the soccer teams as they travel to East Central to open division play already in this early season. The ladies will go at 2, the men will go at 4. There will be no broadcast here on Let'sGoICCTV.com for that game, but you can follow us on Twitter at Let'sGoICC for updates throughout the evening. When we come back with more of the Davis Ford pregame show, we're going to take an interesting or different look than what we've traditionally done with tonight's Coca-Cola starting lineups. Back with more right after this.
You're looking at a Ram 2500? Try looking at it next to a Ford Super Duty diesel. The 6.7-liter Power Stroke V8 in Super Duty has best-in-class diesel horsepower and 860 pound-foot of standard torque. Ram 2500 doesn't. With F250 Super Duty, you also get best-in-class diesel fuel economy. Ram 2500 burns more fuel, and Super Duty also gives you more payload. Ram 2500 doesn't have that kind of payoff. Now you can see why, from sunup to sundown, on job sites everywhere, Ford Super Duty owns work.
And welcome back to the Davis Ford pregame show as we continue the countdown to the Sodexo opening kick here between ICC and the number 4 Bulldogs of Gulf Coast. Traditionally, this is where Mr. Jim will be telling you about tonight's starting lineups, but we're going to mix it up this year and actually let the players introduce themselves. So here's tonight's Coca-Cola starting lineups.
Peyton Bender, sophomore quarterback, Fort Lauderdale, Florida.
Altaze Matthews, running back for Stevenson, Alabama, North Jackson High School.
Terry Williams, wide receiver, South Haven, Mississippi, South Haven High School.
Dontavius Bruce, wide receiver, Olive Branch, Mississippi, Olive Branch High School.
Dorian Gaston, wide receiver, Ripley, Mississippi, Ripley High School.
Isaiah Howard, wide receiver, Ripley, Mississippi, Ripley High School.
Abraham Austin, offensive line, Olive Branch, Mississippi, Olive Branch High School.
Marcus Shaw, offensive line, Batesville, Mississippi, South North High.
Jadarius Little, offensive line, Horn Lake, Mississippi, Horn Lake High School.
Brandon McCormick, offensive line, Olive Branch, Mississippi, Lewisburg High School.
Preston Haynes, offensive line, Olive Branch, Mississippi, Lewisburg High School.
Cody Schilt, outside linebacker, Ripley, Mississippi, Ripley High School.
Tyler Logan, linebacker, West Point, Mississippi, West Point High School.
Kendra Nelwood, outside linebacker, Batesville, Mississippi, South North High School.
Cavante Marble, defensive back, Houston, Mississippi, Houston High School.
Donald Twilly, defensive back, Batesville, Mississippi, South North High School.
Deion Knox, defensive back, Grenada, Mississippi, Grenada High School.
Quincy Hood, safety, Hamilton, Mississippi, Hamilton High School.
Kenny Wooten, defensive end, Meridian, Mississippi, Meridian High School.
Travis Seiler, defensive end, Tuscaloosa, Alabama, Cecil Valley High School.
Malik Steele, defensive tackle, Gordo, Alabama, Gordo High School.
Lee Archman, defensive tackle, Alabama, North Carolina, Alabama High School.
Zach Ellis, kicker, Tupelo, Mississippi, Tupelo High School.
Matthew Stewart, long snapper, Calsmith, Mississippi, Calsmith High School.
Well, Mr. Jim, we're just moments away from this Sodexo opening kickoff here on the Davis Ford pregame show. Your final thoughts before we kick things off.
Adam, I'm very excited about tonight. Football season's finally here. The players have been practicing the last 3 weeks. It's been a long August for the coaches and the players. If you're at the game, we appreciate it. If you're listening to us, watching us, we appreciate it. But you got a chance to get to the game right now. It's getting ready to kick off. This is a big-time game against a very good team. Let's stay close in the second half, and we'll find a way to win.
Absolutely. We're just moments away from that Sodexo opening kick here on Let'sGoICCTV.com as well as FM 95 Sports. We'll be back with that right after this.